Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear students, welcome to a new part of A Tale of Two Cities. It was written by Charles Dickens for third prep. I'll be with you inshallah, Mr. Waleed Abdul Majid. The first part we are going to talk about Charles Darnay. A year passed after his residence in England. As you know that Charles Darnay lived in England now. He left France. For some reasons, we're going to talk about them later. Charles Darnay has fallen deeply in love with Lucy Manette. خلاص بقى اشتد الحب معاه. Darnay was working as a French teacher, and one day during the summer, you know that he fell in love with her. He wanted to speak to her about his love, but he went first to her father to tell him about his love to his daughter Lucy Manette. Dr. Manette was clever enough to know that Darnay wanted to speak about something related to Lucy, and he knew the subject before he spoke. قال له كده، قال له أنت عايز تتكلم على لوسي؟ قال له آه. Charles Darnay asked Dr. Manette to let him marry Lucy, but he didn't want this marriage to be a reason for separation between both of them. قال له مش عايز الجواز يبقى سبب للفرقة بينكم انتم الاتنين. Dr. Manette told him if Lucy agreed, he would be pleased to give her to him. هي بس توافق. Darnay wanted to tell him about his real identity. قال له خلاص بعد ما وافقت على الجواز, I have a deep secret and I wanted you to know my real identity. I wanted you to know why I lived here in England, not in France. But Dr. Manette stopped him and asked him to tell him his secret on the wedding day and asked him, Do you promise? Charles Darnay رد عليه وقال له Yes, I promise. وده الفيرست promise يا جماعة, عشان احنا في الشابتر ده عندنا two. At this time, while Charles Darnay was at Dr. Manette's house, كان في كلام تاني داير على لوسي بس في حتة تانية. بين مين ومين؟ بين مستر سترايفر ذا لوير اللي هو طلع تشارلز دارني براءة and his assistant سيدني كارتون. واتكلمنا عن سيدني كارتون البارت اللي فات. Mr. Stryver told Sydney Carton that he wanted to marry. قال له, okay, that's good. قال له, but I would like to tell you about the lady to whom I will marry. She was Lucy Manette. As you know, before that, Sydney Carton loved Lucy Manette. وكان حتى متغاظ من مين؟ من تشارلز دارني. طبعا هو سمع الخبر من هنا. He had a glass of wine. He drank it quickly. على غير العادة بتاعته, شرب بسرعة كده من ايه؟ من الغيظ يعني. سيدني كارتون got confused while Sydney Carton got confused for a while and he drank his wine quickly. But Mr. Strivel didn't love Lucy, by the way يا جماعة. أمال هو عايز ايه يعني؟ He believed that any woman, أي ست, تمام, any woman should be honored to have him as a husband, even pretty Lucy. أنا أي حد يتمناني. هو شايف نفسه كده. And he, on his way to Dr. Manette's house, you know, he changed his opinion and went first to Mr. Jarvis Lorry. He wanted to ask for his advice. When he met Mr. Lorry, he told him the story that he wanted to marry Lucy Manette. Mr. Lorry was taken aback يا جماعة. اتخطف كده يعني. ايه؟ انت هتتجوزك انت؟ الصدم من الأخبار ديت. And he asked Mr. Stryver not to ask Lucy Manette for marriage. قال له خليني أنا أقول لها. Let me pave the way for you, or let me ask her before you propose, قبل أنت ما تتقدم. ليه بقى؟ عشان Mr. Lorry knew well that Lucy Manette would not marry Mr. Stryver and didn't want him to be embarrassed by Lucy. مش عايز يحرجه يا جماعة, لأنه عارف إن هي مش هتتجوزه هو وإن الخط مشغول يعني. سيدني كارتون شخصية مسكينة جدا يا جماعة. سيدني كارتون really visited Lucy Manette at her house. بس جه في يوم he went to visit her and he didn't find her father there. He found her alone. When Lucy looked at his face, she felt worried about him. يعني وشه قلقان، وشه متوتر. And she asked him if he was well, to which he replied no. لا هو أنا مش تمام، أنا مش مبسوط. طب في إيه يا عم؟ طيب Sidney Carton started to express his love to Lucy and he asked for nothing in return. يعني هو قال أنا بحبك ومعجب بيكي، بس مش عايز حاجة في المقابل، يعني بيعترف بحبه بس. As he knew that he would bring her misery. لا أصل انتي لو حبيتيني وبدلتيني الحب يعني مش هسعدك. I will not bring you happiness and I will pull you down. يعني مش هيعلى بيها في الكلاس. تمام. سيدني كارتون told her that he had started changing his life. يعني أو من ساعة انت دخلت حياتي بدأت أغيرها. But in vain. كله ملوش لازمة. It was just a dream. انت بالنسبة لي حلم ما اقدرش احققه. وجي بقى لبروميس مهم جدا وده السكند بروميس بتاعنا. Sidney Carton wanted Lucy to remember well that one day he would sacrifice his own life to spare her own or the life of someone she loves. أنا عايزك تعرفي كويس قوي إيه إني مستعد أضحي بحياتي عشان خاطرك، عشان خاطر أي حد تاني أنت بتحبيه. ده كده بقى فعلا الحب اللي بجد. طيب let's move to Paris. اللي الجزء اللي فات ده كله was in England. Okay, let's go to Paris. Let's go back quickly to the poor town Saint Antoine. Saint Anthony in France اللي هي البورست اريا او one of the poorest area اللي منها هتقوم الثورة، اللي عايش فيها بالظبط كده دي فارج واللي هو والواين شوب موجود فيها. مسيو دي فارج was standing قدام المحل بقى وذا مان covered in dust مطربين بقى الجو وحش. He is a road mender واحد من بيصلحوا الطرق. They entered the wine shop and they had a meeting with all the jacks. الجاكس طبعا يا جماعة اللي هم ده السيكريت نيم للناس اللي هتقوم بالثورة. يعني كده زي احنا بنقول ايه يا استاذي ايه يا غالي كده يعني عشان محدش يعرفهم. The road mender started telling a story for the jacks. كانوا أربعة قاعدين كده. تمام. He told them about a tall man who was executed by the marquis. تمام. طبعا قال لهم في واحد اتعدم، عيلة الماركيز أعدمته. He told them about this man اللي هو مين بقى؟ Excellent, Gaspard. Do you remember Gaspard whose son was killed by the Marquis لما مات تحت العجل واداله كوين بديل عنه. The road mender saw Gaspard's secretary riding underneath the Marquis carriage. في الكاريتا بتاعته كده كان جاسبرد بيستخبى تحت عشان يدخل البالاس بتاعه الشاتيو بتاعه. اوكي. He didn't know who Gaspard was. الرود مندر ما كانش عارف مين جاسبرد لان the Marquis asked him لما هو قال له انا شفت حد بيركب العربية وتسلل داخل القصر. The Marquis asked him and the road mender gave him a description to the Marquis. Later, because the Marquis was asking him who was the man at the back of his carriage. طبعا واحد من الجاكس قال له why did you tell him؟ ليه قلت له؟ قال له I didn't know that he was Gaspard. Gaspard was arrested and put in prison for a week. قبض عليه الماركيز ورماه في السجن الأسبوع and he was executed. And he was left hanged تحت نافورة كده يا جماعة، كان متعلق فوق نافورة. تمام. Defarge and the Jacks طبعا the road mender left. Defarge and the Jacks now agreed that Gaspard's execution was another reason to wipe out the Marquis class. قالوا بس كده الناس دي جابت آخرها معانا، عائلة الماركيز جابت آخرها معانا، لازم نخلص عليهم. It was another reason for why a revolution had to come. خلاص بقى يلا بينا نبدأ ننفذ. بس المهم one of the jacks asked if the list was safe. list ايه؟ انهي لستة؟ ما هم عاملين لستة يا جماعة بأسماء كل الناس اللي تستحق ايه قطع رقابيها في الثورة دي من الايه الأغنياء والأرستقراط. قال له ايه if the list safe انتوا كاتبينها بأمان and added that if it was really written a sacred code. طب مكتوبة فين يا جماعة؟ ها برافو تمام. مدام دي فارج was knitting all the time يا جماعة. بصوا ماسكة بقى ايه النيتنج تمام وعمالة ايه تحط رموز للناس اللي عايزة تتقتل. Defarge said that those who were to die كل الناس اللي هتحتاج تموت دي by the people of the revolution were netted into Madame Defarge register. مكتوبين احنا عند Madame Defarge. She nets every name into her memory. She will never lose a word of it. لا وحتى لو البتاعة دي اتسرقت القماشة اللي بتكتب عليها ديت بالنتنج تمام كل ده مكتوب ومحفور في الذاكرة عندها. عندها غل يا جماعة غريب قوي هنعرفه بعدين. Now a new spy was coming to Saint Anthony. البوليس مش ساكت برضه عارف ان في حركة غريبة فبعت ايه جاسوس او اسف يعني نقول مخبر احسن. Defarge had known this information from a friend working for the police that a spy is coming to the town and this spy's name was John Barsad. Do you remember the first trial for Charles Darnay؟ كان الفيرست ويتنس جون بارساد اللي كان عامل فيها وطني تمام. He was now the new spy for the police. He came to this poor part to track down any information he could about the political situation in France. And he started to track them. بدأ بقى يا جماعة يجر كلام معاهم after about Gaspar's execution. عايز يشوف رد فعلهم يعني. But after speaking to Defarge and his wife about the execution of Gaspard, he told them that اداهم خبر حلو بقى. قال لهم ايه؟ Lucy's going to marry Charles Darnay. طبعا هم اتصدموا من حاجة. The news didn't affect the Defarge يعني ما اللي يتجوز يتجوز احنا مالنا. But الدنيا هنا مقسومة نصين بقى يا جماعة عايزكم تخلي بالكم من مدام ديفارج اتجاهها ايه و مسيو ديفارج اتجاهه ايه. They were surprised because of the news that ايه بقى اللي محيرهم Darnay was the new marquis. ما هو لما عمه مات وجاسبرد قتله هو هيبقى الماركيز الجديد. ليه؟ He was the nephew of the killed one. هو اللي رسميا lawfully كده officially كده هو اللي عليه الدور يبقى الماركيز. طب ازاي بقى كده في أزمة. And now after the spy had left Defarge and his wife spoke about the news. قعدوا بقى يتناقشوا بقى ايه عن اللي بيحصل. Defarge expressed his concern about Dr. Manette and his daughter as well because he liked them. عايز بيهمه انه كان شغال عنده وشاف انه اتظلم 18 years in the Bastille فهيعكنن عليه يعني هيعكنن عليه الجوازة because the future husband was the new marquis and if there was a revolution ايه اللي هيحصل he would be in great danger عشان هو ماركيز دلوقتي اللي هو طبعا تشارلز دارني ولو حصلت ثورة وجه فرنسا هيتقتل وكده ولما نقتله هنبقى عاكنين على دكتور مانيت. فديفارج هنا زعلان على دكتور مانيت. نروح بقى نشوف another opinion for Madame Defarge. Madame Defarge was completely different from her husband as she didn't care about the happiness of Dr. Manette. انتوا ما يتحرق يا عم انا مالي بتهزر يعني احنا مالنا. تقول له لا she cared only about the safety of France. كل اللي يهمها فرنسا كل اللي يهمها ان لازم كل النوبلز دول والارستقراط والناس دي ظلمت كتير لازم. Before I leave, I want you to remember that Madame Defarge was completely different from her husband, Monsieur Defarge, for a reason. مش مجرد غل كده. For a reason. هنعرفه قدام إن شاء الله. Thank you for your time. Inshallah, waiting for you for the next video. Thank you.